One of the most common issues that managers run into is not knowing how to delegate. It's not typically something that is taught to us, but it is something that is expected of us. So, I wanted to give you some brief tips today on how to delegate because it is one of the more difficult areas because it requires you to give up control to somebody else that you are responsible for. With that said, some of the tips for delegating. First is to determine what you can delegate and when. Was it something that you personally have to do that needs to be at your level to get done? Or is it something that someone else can accomplish? If it doesn't need to be done by you, let it go. Teach someone else how to do it. The other thing is to know when to delegate. Is this a really tight timeline? Probably not a great idea to delegate to someone because you don't have the time that you need to support them and give them a chance to do it themselves. So you would likely want to just knock this out yourself this time so that you can teach someone how to do it and give them a little bit more runway later. So number one, determine what and when to delegate. Number two, know which employees you can delegate things to. Know their strengths and weaknesses, know what their interests are, where they want to grow and develop, and also understand how they're currently performing. If they're struggling with getting their day-to-day job done, probably don't need to take on additional tasks right now. So understand what your employees' strengths, weaknesses, and interests are, and if they have the capacity to take on additional work. So number two is to know your employees' strengths and weaknesses and determine to whom you can delegate. Number three is to provide the resources, authority, and support that they need to be successful. And you want to clearly set expectations. If this project or task or whatever it is that we're delegating requires specific resources, you want to make sure that your employee has access to those resources. If they have to make decisions or go to meetings and speak up on behalf of you or your team, that they have the authority to do so. You also want to provide support and tell them that I'm here if you have any questions, or we can meet once a week or whatever that looks like. So figure out what that support would be, but let them know that if they have questions or if they run into a problem that they're just not quite sure how to handle, that you are still available to help them. The job here is that you are delegating them to do the work, but if they have questions, you are not completely wiping your hands of this. And then set the appropriate expectations as far as what the deliverable needs to look like, when it's due, and what the end game is supposed to be. And that way they understand what you are expecting so they don't deliver something that you look at and say, this is not at all what I needed. Set that expectation up front. So number three is to provide resources, authority, support, and expectations up front. Step four is to be patient with them. This is the first time, maybe second time that they're taking something on. And if this is a task that you have done regularly, you probably are an expert. You know how to do it. You can do it with your eyes closed. And it seems really obvious that they should know how to do this too, but it's new for them. Don't forget what it feels like to be new to something and have to follow a checklist or ask questions or maybe be a little slow going through it. So you want to be patient with them. And if this is a project that has some flexibility, give them room for failure. If they make mistakes, that's okay. And if they're not coming to you with questions or if they make a mistake on what the deliverable needs to look like, that's okay. Give them feedback and fix it for next time. The goal here, again, is that you shouldn't have to go in and micromanage the process because then you're not really letting it go. So be patient with them to take the time that they need to do it in the way that makes sense to them, even if it's not the way that you would do it. If you have the room for it, give them room for failure. If this is a project that is due to the CEO or to the top of your employment chain, or if it's something that has a lot of pressure on it because it's going to impact a big project, now is not the good time to let them fail. Now is the time that you would want to step in and provide some additional support. So kind of read the situation accordingly. So that's step four, be patient and allow room for failure. Number five is to give feedback. So this is what you did that was really great. I love that you came to me when you had a question. The way you handled this was really good. Or wish that you had come to me when you ran into that problem because I could have helped you solve that faster than it took you to do it. So give them feedback, positive and constructive, so that the next time they do this project, they know how to do it and they can do it more effectively. Also, be open to feedback for you. So if they say, I came to you with questions and you weren't available, you were in too many meetings and I couldn't get you, be open to that feedback and how can I do that differently next time? Five is giving and receiving feedback. And then six is to recognize and reward. So when the project is done, yay, congratulations to you and to them. You help them get it done. They helped you get something off of your plate. And now, next time that it's due, hopefully, they'll be able to do that a little bit more readily and saves you some work. And it gives them opportunities to get their hands on newer, more strategic projects that they wouldn't have had access to prior to this delegation. That is step 6, recognizing and rewarding. So, just a quick summary. Number 1, determine what and when to delegate. Number 2, know your employees' strengths and weaknesses and if they have the bandwidth to take something else on. Number 3 is to provide the resources, authority, the support, and any expectations up front so that they can get this done without you having to handhold and micromanage. Be available to them, but give them flexibility to do it themselves. Number 4 is to be patient, let them do it again on their own in whatever way makes sense to them. And if you have the flexibility to allow them to fail, or at least make some mistakes. Number 5 is to give and receive feedback. And 6 is to recognize and reward when they are done. So people want to hear that they've done a good job, thank them, recognize them in some way, whatever works best for them. Maybe it's one-on-one, maybe it's a written communication, maybe it's a team shout out in a group Slack channel, but make sure that you are recognizing and rewarding them for the help and the work that they're doing. But that is a quick shortcut to learn how to delegate. There are a lot of reasons why we struggle with it, but it is really crucial for your efficiency and overall success to be able to know when and how to delegate successfully. If you have any questions about that, you can go to my website, authenticfoundations.podia.com, or feel free to comment or ask me. Thank you.